Welcome to Crush Hour. Thanks to our sponsor, Mr. McMahon. Tonight, you will witness WWE superstars battling for survival behind the wheel.
What happens when you take wrestlers out of their natural element and put it in video game form? Well, yes, there's that, but at least that was something that closely resembled wrestling. WWE Crush Hour, on the other hand, takes you even farther away from the squared circle by putting your favorite stars into souped-up weaponized vehicles and having them fight it out Twisted Metal style. The game came out in 2003 and was made for the GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation 2. I played the GameCube version because it's the only console of the three that I own. If I'm going to review a game like this, it might as well be the worst looking of the three. In Crush Hour, WWE finds the one side venture that actually works out for them in running all of television. That means a ton of TV shows starring your favorite wrestlers. Sounds familiar?
And though the critics continue to protest, you can't argue with success.
In this game, Crush Hour is McMahon's latest show concept. Apparently, Vince has grown tired of his current crop of stars, and he wants them all to die gruesome, fiery deaths.
I'm not the one who sucks.
Each wrestler has a custom vehicle. Lots of them make sense thematically, like Austin in a pickup, The Undertaker on his motorcycle, or Big Show in a big rig. Others, like Christian or Test, do not make sense, but that's okay. They're pretty bad in this game anyway. Man, they really got Jeff Hardy's mannerisms down pat. Did he come in for motion capture or what? Let's talk about the gameplay. There's your basic deathmatch where you play to points or to a time limit. Then there are a bunch of features that are a pain in the ass and not fun at all. For instance, there are a couple of variations of grab the thing and hold on to the thing for a while without dying. There are at least two different versions of be the last man standing, but even though they have different names, are essentially the same. Then there's the one where you have to grab the requisite number of stars. That one is the devil. There's a season mode, which goes on for what feels like an actual season because of the repetition of game modes, some of which take ages to get through. Once you make it to the very end, you have to face Mr. McMahon himself, and like every other WWE video game, he is ridiculously powerful. But when you finally beat him, you get this fun little self-serving message at the end.
Yes, a lot has changed, but one thing remains the same: the rising popularity of WWE's Crush Hour.
Sure, keep telling yourself that. You have to play through season mode a bunch of times to unlock people like Hulk Hogan, Devon, Ric Flair, and Lita, but it's such a slog just to do it once, you might not want to put yourself through the misery. The controls are easy enough to figure out. Most of the vehicles handle pretty easily, especially when using the power slide feature. It's pretty much the only way to get around well. You have your standard gun, weapon pickups, and a special move you can use once your meter's full. It's a guaranteed insta-kill if you hit it, and has the potential to take out multiple people at once. There isn't too much strategy involved in this game other than ramming your opponent while firing the main gun at the same time, occasionally zipping away to get health or a weapon. Oftentimes, fights usually break down into a Rochambeau like this. Let's move on to the look of the game. Each level has a different feel and layout and are unique enough, but the arenas look muddy and lack detail. There's barely any contrast between obstacles and pathways. When you're driving fast or in the middle of a big firefight, it's really hard to see where you're going, but that might just be a GameCube issue. The sound in Crush Hour is some of the worst I've ever heard in any video game. The overall mixing is terrible and everything's either too loud or too quiet. Either everyone in this game is driving an electric car or someone forgot to add the engine sounds. Besides the blazing gunfights, all you can hear is the constant hissing and whirring noises of the environment around you. It gets old really quickly. But the real gem of this game is Jim Ross's commentary. Good old JR phones it in for the most part, and you can't really blame him. I wonder what went through his mind the first time he looked at the script and knew he had to read these little nuggets of wisdom.
Booker T just picked up the Twisty Rockets. A highly effective ram maneuver pulled off there by Edge. Stone Cold now has control of the Twisty Rockets. Kurt Angle just snatched the laser-guided rockets.
The commentary may be super bland and repetitive, but at the same time you can't help but keep it on because the rest of the audio is so bad you need Jim's golden voice to keep your sanity intact. If WWE had nothing to do with this game, I would just say it was a passable ripoff of the Twisted Metal series. It is still that here, but the whole concept of wrestlers in death cars is bizarre. If you can wrap your head around that idea, it can be a fun, if not overly engaging game. If you stick with your basic deathmatch modes and don't dork around with the other terrible features and maybe play with the sound down, you'll be okay. I give WWE Crush Hour 3 Twisty Rockets out of 5. I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.